Senator Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Acting Deputy President. In the face of a global pandemic with its devastating financial effects and the health of our very nation being of crucial importance, Labor wants us to repeat our plans for the future of our economy. The plan to get Australians back to work and to fight the inevitable effects of the global pandemic on unemployment rates. Well, my response to them is this: haven't you been listening at all? Today, there was hard evidence to demonstrate that the Morrison government's plan has put a solid foundation under our economy, evidenced by the fact that unemployment figures rose just 1% to 6.2% in April. As our Prime Minister said, though, it's still a tough day for Australians. That result, though, in an environment where predictions were that unemployment would run as high as 8 to 10%, demonstrates that the strategy to get Australians back to work and combat massive unemployment is already working. We're supporting Australians through this difficult time. We're facing hard times, but we have a solid plan and we will recover. In this unprecedented environment where we face a global pandemic of devastating proportions, we are getting it right. The unemployment rate is proof of the fact that the JobKeeper program is doing its work. We've worked to retain the connections between businesses and employees and ensure a pathway for millions of workers to return to their jobs. The Prime Minister and our Treasurer have been talking about the plans to reignite the economy in deliberate stages. And as the states ease the restrictions, we will see more people return to work. It might be timely to note Labor's record on economic management is far from glowing. Even today, a party that's proved itself incapable of managing a tuck shop, a party that's been bankrupting Queensland, is now suggesting the solution to unemployment is for their leaders to become international airline moguls. That plan will inevitably result in failure and long-term unemployment for airline workers. We welcome other bids for Virgin Airlines so that it can enjoy a long and profitable future with secure jobs for its Australian workers. In stark contrast, the Morrison-led government has, with care and the same steady, responsible economic management, developed solid solutions to a range of tough economic problems. At the centre of our economic strategy, we've been sure to care for all Australians while they've been off work. The JobSeeker and JobKeeper programs have provided the pillars of support for our economy. 6 million Australians are benefiting from the JobSeeker, Youth Allowance and JobKeeper programs. The JobSeeker and Youth Allowance payments provide a safety net for people while they search for a job. And when we talk about the unemployed in Australia, we should note that we have one of the most targeted and effective social welfare systems in the world. Almost every Australian who receives JobSeeker or Youth Allowance also receives supplementary payments on top of the base payment, so there are extra supports in place. The JobSeeker payment is a temporary, transitional support, with close to 2/3 of recipients expected to exit the payment system within a year. What else do we do to combat unemployment and support Australians who are out of work? The JobKeeper provisions, announced on March 30 to the value of $130 billion, provides employers with $1,500 per fortnight to pay eligible employees. That's around 70% of the median wage. For workers in the hospitality, accommodation and retail sectors, it will equate to a full median replacement wage. Payments will be made for 13 fortnights from March 30, ending on the 27th of September 2020. With this stimulation for the economy, we've ensured many of those businesses that have been forced to close during the shutdown will be able to reopen. There will be jobs for Australian workers to return to. We're also seeing success on the health front. By putting in place appropriate social distancing measures, we've slowed the spread of coronavirus. And our economic strategy is as carefully thought out as the health response to the coronavirus. That response has seen other affected countries look to Australia with envy. Australia is confronting the health and economic challenges from a position of strength. We don't shy from the fact that the effects of the coronavirus across the economy have been severe. Businesses and households are facing uncertainty, and as expected, economic activity has slowed. But our measured plan has put a floor under that economic uncertainty. The government's focus right now is not only on the health and well-being of Australians, it's on maintaining our strong economy so people can resume work. As the coronavirus is controlled, the Morrison-led government is focusing on businesses reopening. That plan's been designed to ensure that consumers gradually regain their confidence and also return to normal. The government's economic support package has provided timely support to affected workers, businesses and the broader community, and has kept Australians in work and businesses in business. In fact, without the JobKeeper program, Treasury forecasts that unemployment figures could rise as high as 15% for the June quarter, instead of the current forecast of 10%. Our economy is resilient and well-placed to navigate challenges, but we know that the outbreak, social distance measures, economic confidence and travel restrictions are having a significant economic impact. GDP is expected to fall by 10% in the June quarter, the equivalent of $50 billion. Every week that the restrictions remain in place, there is a further $4 billion reduction in economic activity to the combination of reduced workforce participation, productivity and consumption. Going into this outbreak, however, economic activity in Australia was strengthening at the end of 2019, with the economy growing by a healthy 2.2%. Our strength today lies in the fact that the economy was resilient and well-placed to navigate the unprecedented challenges of this new coronavirus environment. Bringing National Cabinet together to ensure that we can reopen our economies has also been integral to the response plan. Our economic response to the coronavirus, totalling $320 billion, which is 16.4% of annual GDP over forward estimates, will help stop the economy stagnating and provide jobs. That fiscal package, which includes the JobKeeper payment, is front-loaded in order to instil confidence in businesses and households. The accommodative monetary policy, with its flexible exchange rate, will also help to mitigate the effect of negative economic shocks. It should also be remembered that Australia has a sound and well-capitalised banking sector to withstand financial market turmoil. To reiterate, on May the 8th, the National Cabinet met to finalise the three-step plan to gradually remove baseline restrictions and make Australia COVID safe. Implementing all three stages may see as many as 850,000 people back at work, increasing GDP by around $9.4 billion a month and controlling the unemployment rate. Our plan to keep businesses open and Australians in job is well underway. Our economic response totals over $320 billion over the next 4 years to 2023-24. It will protect the economy by maintaining confidence and keeping people in jobs. And our approach will remain that we invest in our economy in ways that provide more jobs. We intend to support Australians during the most difficult of times. And I'll quote our Prime Minister, who said today, "Australians can take hope right now because we will see better days."